Hey everyone, whenever we talk about AI and jobs, the conversation almost always lands on one word, replacement. But what if, for some roles, it's not about being eliminated, but about being totally reborn? Today, we're diving into human resources, and trust me, AI is flipping the script, turning it from an admin function into a real strategic powerhouse. All right, let's get into it.
This quote right here, it just perfectly frames everything we're about to talk about. This isn't just about, making HR paperwork a little bit faster. We're talking about a completely new, much bigger mission. The shift is from just managing people to actually designing the systems of an intelligent organization. That's a huge leap.
So what's behind this new mission? What's really driving it? Well, it all comes down to a fundamental change in what we even consider the core ingredients for production inside a company. The very things that HR is in charge of, they're changing.
And this slide just lays it out so clearly. On the one hand, you've got the old school HR model, right? It's all about managing people, defining jobs, smoothing out processes, checking performance. But look at the other side. The AI era model just blows that wide open. Suddenly, HR is also managing algorithms, compute power, and data. These are now core assets.
So yeah, it's not a one-way street anymore where management just flows downwards. As you can see here, it's becoming this dynamic, interconnected system. HR isn't just the administrator pushing papers. They're the conductor of this whole new orchestra. The job itself is shifting from basic management to designing these really sophisticated collaborations. Now, at the very heart of this new system is a totally new kind of resource. I mean, it's like a new engine for creating value. The source material calls it the human plus compute engine, and it's a real game changer. Okay, so here's the absolute key takeaway. We're not just talking about headcount anymore. The new unit of production is this hybrid thing. It's this seamless blend of what makes us uniquely human, our judgment, our creativity, with the raw power of AI and things like computation and prediction. Think about it. The competition of the future won't be about who has the most employees, but who can build the most effective human plus compute teams. And this Venn diagram, it just spells it all out perfectly. Over here on the left, you've got our human superpowers: judgment, creativity. On the right, AI's strengths, computation, prediction. But that sweet spot in the middle, that's the intelligence zone. That's where the magic really happens, and that's the space that the new HR has to figure out how to nurture.
So this human plus compute engine, it's a cool concept, right? But how does it actually show up in the real world? Well, it's not just a theory. It's already sparking 5 major trends that are totally reshaping our workplaces as we speak.
Let's break them down, one by one.
All right, trend number 1. AI agents are literally becoming our new virtual colleagues. You got to think of them as intelligent teammates, and that completely changes the game for hiring, right? The goal isn't just find a person for this job description. It's about building the absolute best mix of human and machine talent to get a specific task done.
Second, our own work is shifting from just doing stuff to creating stuff. The AI can handle all the repetitive, number-crunching, heavy lifting kind of work, and what does that do? It frees us up, the human talent, to focus on what we do best: innovating, brainstorming, and creative problem-solving, with AI right there beside us as a co-creation partner.
Trend 3 is a big one. As AI gets better and better at automating analysis and prediction, our very human ability to make judgments based on our values becomes more critical than ever before. The AI can tell you what the data says, but it takes a person to decide what to do about it, to weigh efficiency against things like ethics and fairness. That kind of responsibility, that is a core human skill for the future. And this idea is captured really well in what the source calls the twin wheel model. For an AI-powered organization to move forward responsibly, both of these wheels have to be turning together. On one side, you have the technical stuff, AI governance, like transparency and security. But on the other, you have human responsibility, the ethical judgment, the values that guide the whole system. You need both.
Okay, our 4th trend. This one flows directly from the others. As AI starts to handle all the routine knowledge work, the ability to come up with truly new, original ideas, that's pure creativity, becomes the ultimate competitive advantage. It's really the one thing AI can't just replicate on demand, which makes it an organization's most valuable and scarcest asset.
This graph here shows you the money behind the shift. It's the economic reality of what's happening. You see those 2 crossing lines? The value of traditional process-based work is trending down over time. Meanwhile, the value coming from creativity is shooting straight up.
And that intersection point, that's the transformation we're all living through right now.
And finally, trend number 5. With these incredibly powerful AI tools right at their fingertips, employees just don't need constant top-down management anymore. You'll see small, self-sufficient teams using AI to analyze their own data, tweak their workflows, and hit their goals all on their own. This really empowers that self-driven talent to become the main engine of change for the entire organization.
Okay, so with all these massive trends happening, you have to ask, what does an HR professional actually do in this new world? Well, their whole identity is being remade, and it's starting to crystallize around 3 new, incredibly important roles.
This table breaks it down nicely. First, you have the organizational coach. Their job is all about the culture, creating a space where people feel safe to experiment and work alongside AI. Then there's the chief capability operator. This is a more technical role, focused on actually running and fine-tuning that human plus compute system. And finally, the org architect. This person designs the flexible team structures and the smart governance rules that let this whole new kind of organization actually work.
So, we've looked at the big shift, the key trends, and the new roles. Let's put it all together now and look at one final big picture model of this new intelligent organization. This pyramid really ties it all together and sums up our whole journey. Down at the bottom, the foundation, you have the AI infrastructure, all the data, compute power, and platforms. As you move up, you hit that intelligent collaboration layer, which is where all those HR functions are being reinvented. And it all leads to the very top, a whole new level of strategic decision-making. This is basically the blueprint for the intelligent organization that HR is now being asked to build.
Which brings us to our final question. After walking through all of this, it's pretty clear that the old administrative version of HR is on its way out. But what's rising up to take its place is something way more strategic, more dynamic, and honestly, more essential to a company's success. So the real question isn't if HR is being replaced, it's whether our companies are ready for its rebirth.